Royal enthusiasts around the world were left shaken when Buckingham Palace released a rare and somber statement concerning King Charles III's ongoing battle with cancer. The official message, delivered with typical royal restraint, revealed that His Majesty had experienced temporary but concerning side effects from his treatment. Though the statement sought to reassure the public of the king's overall stability, the undertone was impossible to ignore. The monarch's condition may be more serious than many had anticipated. It marked the first time since his hospital stay that the king made a public appearance. As he was seen leaving Clarence House in a sleek black vehicle, royal supporters gathered outside hoping to catch a glimpse of their sovereign. King Charles, ever the gentleman, gave them a gentle wave, a brief but touching moment that stirred deep emotion. Yet those watching closely could not ignore the visible toll the illness had taken. His face, though composed, appeared thinner, his expression wearier. It was a moment of vulnerability rarely witnessed by the public. For a monarchy built on tradition, continuity, and strength, such frailty in its leader is unsettling. Behind the palace walls, this development sparked a flurry of activity. Senior courtiers, advisors, and family members found themselves facing the one question nobody dared to ask out loud: what happens if the king cannot continue? The ripple effect of this question reached all corners of the royal family. Prince William, the heir to the throne, suddenly found the weight of the future pressing more heavily than ever before. Observers noted a new solemnity in his demeanor during recent appearances. While he remained composed, his eyes betrayed the gravity of the situation. He understood what was at stake, not just the potential loss of his father, but the monumental shift in responsibility that loomed ever closer. Yet even amid crisis, the Prince and Princess of Wales made a conscious decision to focus on their young family. Instead of stepping into the public spotlight during the Easter break, they retreated into the quiet comfort of Anmer Hall, their country residence. There, away from the cameras and courtly expectations, they prioritized Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, providing them with normalcy in an otherwise chaotic world. This decision, however, was not without controversy. Critics questioned whether such a retreat was appropriate during a moment of royal uncertainty. Shouldn't the future king be visible, rallying public support and assuring the nation? Yet others defended the choice, pointing out that William and Catherine were signaling a new type of leadership, one grounded in empathy, family, and human connection rather than rigid tradition. Meanwhile, Princess Anne and Prince Edward picked up the slack, increasing their public engagements to ensure the monarchy remained visible and stable. As the working royals, they have long been the unsung heroes of the firm, steady, uncontroversial, and fiercely loyal. But even they could not fill the looming void left by the king's faltering health. What the public doesn't see, and what few inside the palace dare to acknowledge openly, is the rising tension beneath the surface. Power dynamics are shifting. Strategic alliances are being formed. And at the heart of it all lies a document, a letter penned by the late Queen Elizabeth II before her death. Described by insiders as a final act of duty, this letter was not simply a farewell, but a directive, a message meant to guide the monarchy through the uncertain years that would follow her passing. Contained within that letter, according to leaks whispered to the press, is a line that has ignited fierce debate, a subtle but unmistakable suggestion that Charles should not cling to the throne if he becomes unable to serve the crown effectively. The mere existence of such a statement has rocked the palace. Some read it as a compassionate note from a mother to her son. Others see it as a command, a final expectation from the sovereign to her heir. King Charles is said to be deeply affected by the letter. Torn between his lifelong duty and his rapidly declining health, he finds himself in an impossible position. Abdication, while technically possible, remains a taboo topic, a ghost from the past that still haunts the House of Windsor. The last monarch to step down voluntarily, Edward VIII, did so under scandal and shame, bringing the monarchy dangerously close to collapse. Queen Camilla, now finally wearing the crown after decades of public scorn and private suffering, is determined not to see her husband's reign end in similar disgrace. According to palace sources, she has taken a firm stance: Charles will remain king, no matter the cost. For Camilla, this is about more than power, it is about vindication, legacy, and survival. But others are beginning to wonder whether the time has come for transition. Privately, advisors have floated the idea of a regency, a rarely used, but constitutionally acceptable arrangement, in which Prince William would assume the king's duties without formally ascending the throne. This solution would allow Charles to remain monarch in name while William takes on the active leadership role. It is, by all accounts, a compromise, one that could ease the burdens of both father and son while preserving stability. As these high-stakes decisions loom, William and Catherine continue to prepare in their own quiet way. They have begun surrounding themselves with trusted aides, policy experts, and media strategists. Their goal is clear: to reshape the monarchy for a new generation. Catherine, in particular, has taken on an increasingly influential role. Once seen merely as a fashion icon and smiling consort, she is now emerging as a formidable figure behind the scenes. Insiders describe Catherine as calm, meticulous, and unafraid to speak her mind in private. Her vision for the future monarchy is bold: less formality, more relatability, fewer archaic rituals, more emotional transparency. In many ways, she represents the very evolution the Queen had hoped for in her final letter. As the world watches, rumors swirl about Charles's condition. Is he improving, or is the palace withholding the truth? Why was he seen departing London so quickly after his brief hospital stay? Why has the royal calendar been scaled back so dramatically? And perhaps most crucially, what is the real plan if the king's health continues to deteriorate? While officials maintain a stoic front, those closest to the royals know the truth: contingency plans are being drawn. Lawyers have been consulted. Logistics teams are preparing for every eventuality, from a quiet regency announcement to, in the most extreme case, a formal abdication. The public may not hear of these preparations until the moment arrives, but rest assured, the machinery of the monarchy is in motion. And then, there's Prince Harry. Estranged, exiled, and emotionally distant, yet forever entangled in the story. Reports suggest that Charles has not ruled out reconciliation, a final attempt to heal the rift before it's too late. But William remains hesitant. Too much damage has been done. Too many wounds left unhealed. Whether Harry will be welcomed back into the fold, even temporarily, remains one of the monarchy's most pressing unanswered questions. And what of the Queen's heirlooms? Sources say that private discussions are underway about the distribution of personal items, jewelry, letters, keepsakes with historical and sentimental value. Some family members have been caught off guard by the choices being made. Items once assumed to be passed to specific individuals have instead been reassigned. Whispers suggest that some of the Queen's most treasured pieces, including handwritten letters and rare jewels, may be going not to Camilla, but to Catherine. A symbolic gesture, perhaps, of the Queen's belief in her granddaughter-in-law's future. As this unprecedented royal chapter unfolds, one truth has become clear: the monarchy is at a crossroads. What was once a symbol of unshakable tradition is now grappling with change, vulnerability, and the weight of modern expectation. The next few weeks, perhaps even days, could determine the fate of the British crown for generations to come. And so, the world watches. Not just with curiosity, but with a growing sense that history is being written in real time, quietly, behind closed doors, beneath the heavy silence of the gilded halls of Buckingham Palace. Will the king endure? Will the prince step forward? Will the monarchy survive not just the illness of one man, but the transformation of an entire era? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: the House of Windsor will never be the same again.